You're listening to the Kirkintilloch Herald, a Q & Review recording service podcast, brought to you by our team of volunteers currently recording from their homes across Scotland. Whether you're listening via the BWBF online players, the telephone app, or our brand new Alexa skill, please phone us on 0141 772 3976 to feedback on what you want us to provide and improve upon. Please also join your family and friends in being our audio ambassadors and share our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram all at Q & Review. That's @ CUEANDREVIEW.
Q & Review would like to ask our listeners to remember to return the USB sticks. If we do not receive the USB sticks back, it reduces our ability to send out the following set and keep you updated on local news. To return a USB stick, simply place the USB within the yellow envelope and turn the laminated address label over to show the Q & Review address. It can then be placed in any post box or returned to any post office. Thank you for listening.
You're listening to this week's Kirkintilloch Herald, date Wednesday, the 6th of April 2022. This week in history: April the 5th, 1982, a British task force set out to recover the Falklands from their Argentine occupiers. On this day last year, Friday Night Dinner and Chernobyl actor Paul Ritter died aged 54 due to a brain tumour. April 6, 1965, Early Bird, the first commercial communications satellite, was launched by the United States. April the 7th, 1947, death of Henry Ford, American motor car manufacturer. On this day last year, campaigners warned that dolphins faced an increasing risk of disturbance from people taking to the sea on boats, jet skis, paddleboards and kayaks as lockdown eased. April 8, 1967, barefoot Sandy Shaw won the Eurovision Song Contest for the UK with Puppet on a String. On this day last year, a record number of people took part in an annual birdwatching survey during the lockdown, the RSPB said. April 9, 1945, the USS Liberty exploded in Bari Harbour, Italy, killing 360 people. On this day last year, the Queen's beloved husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, died, aged 99. April 10, 1998, the Northern Ireland peace deal was reached, called the Good Friday Agreement. On this day last year, a tiny helicopter built by NASA was ready to fly on Mars as part of the US Space Agency's first attempt at a powered controlled flight on another world.
Replace Bridge Call by Liz Gallagher. Hundreds of residents have signed a petition calling for the reinstatement of a footbridge at a popular canal community path. Members of the Hayston community in Kirkintilloch started an online petition recently to campaign for the reinstatement of the Penny's Path Bridge in the Western Mains area. As the Herald went to press on Monday, the petition had collected more than 750 signatures of support. A spokesperson for the Hayston community told the Herald, quote, "The bridge was dismantled in autumn 2021 and there has been no communication with the local community from the council on timescales for it being rebuilt. This bridge was a vital traffic-free access point for locals and visitors to the canal, also connecting a popular route to Torrance. It was used regularly as a safe walking route to school for primary and secondary school pupils, an active travel route for commuters walking and cycling, and an important leisure route for dog walkers, hikers and cyclists alike." She added, "In a time when active travel is a national strategy to reduce our carbon footprint, and when outdoor exercise is encouraged to improve physical and mental well-being, having access to routes which connect us to our communities and to our beauty spots is incredibly important. We set up the petition to indicate the local interest and demand for the rebuilding of the bridge and encourage councillors to address this as a matter of urgency." End quote. The Kirkintilloch Herald contacted Eastern Bartonshire Council, who said replacement of the bridge had taken longer than hoped. Deputy Chief Executive Anne Davey added, quote, Following a safety inspection, we had to remove the footbridge at Penny's Path, and we are currently in the process of procuring a replacement. Unfortunately, this has taken longer than we had hoped, but we are fully committed to replacing the bridge as soon as the procurement process and designs are completed." End quote. You can view the petition at www.change.org/EDC Reinstate Park Burn Footbridge on Penny's Path. The bridge was named after well-known local community activist and keen walker Penny Sinclair, who passed away in 2019. Article by Liz Gallagher. Park lighting. Councillors have given their backing to a radio station's campaign seeking improved lighting in public parks. During North Lanarkshire Council's final meeting before the elections in May, members unanimously supported an SNP motion raised by Councillor Fiona Fotheringham. It stated, quote, "Council notes the campaign launched by Radio Clyde calling for lighting to be installed along the main routes of public parks, and notes that this campaign is supported by a range of individuals and organisations. Providing lighting in our parks could build on the expertise gained by the Park Power Initiative, and renewable energy could be built into any design. This would allow greater access and use of these facilities by our residents. Public parks play a very significant role in community life. Our parks should be accessible and safe." End quote. Autism Week Literary Project. A new project aims to showcase the creative writing talents of the Eastern Bartonshire autistic community. As part of World Autism Acceptance Week, which runs from the 28th of March until the 3rd of April, the Health and Social Care Partnership, also known as HSCP, has launched a new literary initiative. Local area coordinators are on the lookout for short story submissions with a maximum length of 600 words on the theme of reflections. Stories will be compiled and printed in a booklet in September. It's part of a lineup of exciting events throughout the year as part of 2022 Festival of Celebration. This aims to showcase the artistic achievements of local autistic people and individuals with learning disabilities, as well as the organisations that support them. For more information about the Creative Writing Project or to send in submissions, please contact the local area coordinators directly via the webpage www.easternbarton.gov.uk/news/write-stuff. Caroline Sinclair, Interim Chief Officer of Eastern Bartonshire HSCP, said, quote, "This is a great new project which aims to highlight the writing skills of the local autistic community. The theme is reflections, which is very apt as I'm sure the submissions will reflect the wonderful range of talents and experiences locally." End quote. Please send in short story submissions by the 29th of July 2022 via the webpage www.easternbarton.gov.uk/news/write-stuff, where you will also find contact details if you need further information or support.
Residents can now recycle more plastics. Residents in Milngavie and Bearsden are reminded that they can now recycle even more plastics than ever in their brown bin. Earlier this month, Eastern Bartonshire Council announced a major expansion of the types of plastic that can be included in the brown bin, and from this week, even more will be diverted from landfill. As well as plastic bottles, such as shampoo, detergent and drinks bottles, the council can now accept additional plastics from its curbside recycling collections. These include carrier bags, bread bags and vegetable bags, plastic trays for microwave meals, fruit punnets or biscuits, plastic tubs such as margarine or ice cream tubs, plastic pots such as those for yoghurt, puddings, noodle and soup, clean tinfoil. Residents are also advised that items must be clean and empty to ensure that the many tonnes of plastic collected make it through the recycling process successfully. Chief Executive of Eastern Bartonshire Council, Jerry Corns, said, "Our residents have been consistently amongst the top recyclers in the country, so it's fantastic that we're now providing this expanded service." The reaction from the residents to this news has been overwhelmingly positive. It demonstrates just how passionate many in our communities are about recycling well and doing their bit for the environment. Over the coming months, we will continue to raise awareness of what items go in each of our bins in order to increase our area's recycling even further. East Dunbartonshire Council said it has provided a successful, high-quality plastic recycling service from the curbside for over 15 years. A spokesperson added that the range of plastic that can be recycled has always been driven by available markets and the best environmental option for residents. Any residents who currently cannot access the Council's recycling facilities are encouraged to get in touch. For more info, contact www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/residents/recycling
Grants for Jubilee parties. A special fund to help celebrate the historic occasion of the Queen becoming the first British monarch to celebrate a Platinum Jubilee has been launched in North Lanarkshire. With grants of up to £2,000 available, community groups can apply for funding through the North Lanarkshire Platinum Jubilee Community Grants to help organise local events such as a community lunch, street parties or barbecues, tea dances, fun activity days, history or cultural community events related to Jubilee or sporting and craft events. The funding was agreed as part of the Council's 2022-23 budget to encourage communities to celebrate this historic occasion locally. An extended bank holiday from the 2nd to the 5th of June 2022 will provide an opportunity for communities and people throughout the United Kingdom to come together to mark this milestone in royal history. Lady Susan Hawkey, Lord Lieutenant of Lanarkshire, said, "With Her Majesty celebrating a magnificent 70 years of public service, this Platinum Jubilee offers a wonderful opportunity for local communities in North Lanarkshire to celebrate this truly historic occasion. This unique anniversary will provide the chance to celebrate a joyful occasion after what has been a very difficult last couple of years during the health pandemic. Event organisers will be responsible for ensuring any necessary licences and compliance with appropriate regulations are in place. They must also make sure events are properly cleared up." A local author's new book. East Dunbartonshire author Julia Shackman's 6th feel-good romance novel is being released next month. A Scottish Highland Surprise is being released by the HarperCollins imprint, One More Chapter, in e-book on the 22nd of April and in paperback on the 21st of July, after Julie secured a new 2-book deal with them. The second novel of her 2-book deal is penciled in for a November release later on this year. Julie trained as a journalist and studied communication and media, but has always loved reading and writing. After reading Princess Daisy by Judith Krantz at the age of 13 years old, she was hooked. As well as feel-good romance, Julie, who is married with 2 sons, also writes verses and captions for greetings card companies and enjoys entering writing competitions. Julie's agent is Selwa Anthony, based in Australia. She is the only writer living in Scotland he represents.
Coffee with Conscience by Liz Gallagher. A Bishopbriggs social enterprise, which provides mentoring and skill-based training to vulnerable people, has been awarded £3,700 for its new coffee shop. Glasgow Roasters will use the award for their coffee shop, which will work with people in recovery and rehabilitation to help build their confidence, get them work ready, and to become professionally qualified coffee roasters and baristas. Glasgow Roasters clients are then fully integrated into the workplace placements before moving into full-time employment. The £3,700 made available by the Glasgow Airport Flightpath Fund is being used to help furnish the new coffee shop at Bishopbriggs Community Church, where Glasgow Roasters is based. Duncan Stevenson, Glasgow Roasters operations manager, said, quote, "This award from the Flightpath Fund is very welcome. It will ensure we can properly furnish the coffee shop, which we hope will be a real asset to the local community and an ideal training base for our baristas. The team at Glasgow Roasters would like to take this opportunity to thank the Funds Committee for supporting our work in the Bishopbriggs area and beyond." End quote. Glasgow Roasters is run by a team of 12 volunteers. It also trades directly and fairly with coffee-growing cooperatives in Rwanda, Democratic Republic of Congo, Brazil, and other countries in the global south. More than £90,000 is being made available by the Flight Path in 2022. The Funds Committee is continuing to urge neighbourhood groups and organisations to submit applications. Councillor Rosie O'Neill sits on the Flight Path Fund Committee on behalf of East Dunbartonshire Council. She said, quote, "Glasgow Roasters is a fine example of a community enterprise doing fantastic work. This is both at a local level by supporting some of our most vulnerable citizens to learn new skills, and by ensuring coffee farmers in some of the most deprived parts of the world get a fair deal for their hard work." End quote. To find out more about funding support, visit www.glasgowairport.com/community.
Gowalla urged to retain jobs. Local SNP MSP Rona Mackay has called on Gowalla to work with Trade Union Unite to retain jobs after the firm last week revealed it is to move out of Kirkintilloch. The Gowalla Closures Group site at Old Mill Park Industrial Estate in the town produced caps for whisky and wine bottles and employs 162 local people. The company revealed the local site and another at Bridge of Allen are to transition to one purpose-built flagship facility based at the Gartcosh Business Interchange at Lanarkshire. It is unclear how the move will affect local employees. The firm would only say plans are at a very early stage. Mrs Mackay said this terrible news for the workers at Gowalla and another blow for industry in Kirkintilloch and East Dunbartonshire. I urge the management to work with the union to retain the skilled workforce from Kirkintilloch in their new premises. Jobs at both sites are paramount with the rising cost of living set to get worse over the rest of the year.
Torrens pupils dig deep to help nature. Report by Liz Gallagher. Youngsters from Torrens Primary School have been doing their bit to help the environment. Pupils dug deep recently to plant 165 saplings on the grounds of the school as part of the Queen's Jubilee Trees for Schools programme. Teacher Chris Tolmie, who runs the school's Eco Committee, said, "As part of our 2022 Eco Schools Award, we applied to the Trees for Schools programme. Happily, our application was granted and we were gifted 165 sampling trees to plant. The Eco Committee planted them in the grounds of our school over 2 afternoons to improve and attract local wildlife and ensure a healthy, sustainable learning environment on our grounds for future generations." He added, "Residents from the village came to help as well. Local people can also do their bit as part of the Queen's Green Canopy, QGC, a tree planting initiative created to mark Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. Everyone across the UK is being invited to plant trees through to the end of Jubilee year. The Queen's Green Canopy will create a network of individual trees, avenues, copses, and whole woodlands in honour of the Queen's service and the legacy she has built. This will create a green legacy of its own, with every tree planted bringing benefits for people, wildlife and climate, now and for the future." A spokesperson for Woodland Trust said, "Planting trees to help it helps in a range of ways. They attract wildlife, with native trees with nuts and berries such as rowan, hazel and beech, providing food throughout the year. They also provide shelter for livestock. Native species provide a good source of shade in the summer and shelter from the elements over winter. They also prevent soil erosion. Trees can hold soils firm and improve stability to protect against wind and water erosion." He added, The success to successful planting is good planning. For example, a tree may be small when you plant it, but think about how big it will grow over the years. Trees can cause structural damage, so it's vital to consider anything the roots might disturb or where limbs could fall. Find out more at www.woodlandtrust.org.uk. Resettle Aid for Ukraine by Liz Gallagher. East Dunbartonshire Council has committed its support to help refugees fleeing from war-torn Ukraine to resettle in the local area. The Council unanimously agreed to help at its last full meeting on Thursday night before local government elections in May. Councillors agreed to extend the previous commitment to resettle Syrian and Afghanistan refugees to include all global humanitarian crises. Council Chief Executive Jerry Corns told the Herald, "In the light of the shocking conflict and associated humanitarian crisis that continues in Ukraine, Council agreed to extend its previously committed support to refugees from any current or future humanitarian crisis through the official UK and Scottish Government schemes. The resettlement of refugees includes not only the provision of accommodation, but the whole wraparound support from both Council and key partners. The Council committed to providing 4 houses for refugees and essential wider support from other Council services, including community services, education, community learning and help with employment. Social work and health provision is also required for refugees through health and social community partnership services locally." A spokesperson for the Council added, "Although numbers are not currently available, it is understood that many families in East Dunbartonshire have also signed up to the Homes for Refugees initiative to host fleeing families in their own homes. The Council will be addressing the wraparound support required for any families accommodated through this scheme, in line with the Scottish Government guidance, in a multi-agency approach through its Strategic Resettlement Working Group." Mr Corns added, "Our coordinated response will ensure that any refugees resettling in this area are fully supported as they adjust to their life here. We thank our communities in advance for their generosity and support, and to everyone for allowing any arriving refugees a privacy and space to be able to resettle in such challenging circumstances."
105 new homes at Gartcosh. Planning permission has been conditionally awarded by North Lanarkshire Council for 105 new homes at Gartcosh. Bellway Homes and Duchney Properties requested approval for a new development which also includes an access road on a farmland site north east of Johnson Road. The housing will be in the form of 81 detached houses with 3 to 5 bedrooms, 14 semi-detached 3-bed dwellings and 12 affordable housing units consisting of 4 one-bed cottage flats and 8 3-bed terrace units. In line with planning conditions, play provision is also proposed. The application attracted a total of 39 representations, highlighting concerns such as capacity of schools, traffic issues, impact on wildlife, and the aggressive house building strategy recently in Gartcosh. The planning report recommended approval subject to ensuring payment of a sum for additional affordable housing, and the planning board agreed unanimously.
Summer programme History is Alive in Jousting by Julie Curry. Over 2,000 years of history will be brought into life with the return of events to some of Scotland's most iconic heritage sites. Historic Environment Scotland, HES, has announced details of its summer events programme at sites across Scotland, with the return of live events for the first time since the start of the pandemic. Popular family events such as spectacular jousting return to the grounds of both Linlithgow Palace and Caerlaverock Castle in Dumfries, as does well-loved favourites Unicorn at Stirling Castle this Saturday and Sunday, April the 9th and 10th. The event celebrates Scotland's national, mythical beast and features a variety of family and friendly activities around the castle. Also joining this year's lineup is a new exhibition entitled Unforgettable, scheduled to open in April at Blackness Castle near Linlithgow. Celebrating the untold stories of people from marginalised communities whose lives shaped or were shaped by Scotland, Unforgettable highlights their contribution to the nation's history and was developed by HES to help celebrate the year of Scotland's stories. The 2022 programme also sees the return of popular events such as celebration of the centuries at Fort George near Inverness, HEA's largest reenactment event showcasing over 2,000 years of Scottish history. Also returning this year is the Rock of Ages in Pier Park next to Dumbarton Castle. Centering on the 800th anniversary of Dumbarton as a royal borough, the event will feature everything from the Vikings to characters from the medieval period, with costume performers providing a historical extravaganza, bringing Scottish history to life in a series of demonstrations and displays. The programme provides a fun-filled opportunity to experience Scotland's past and explore its culture, while making new memories and learning about the history of hundreds of unique heritage sites across the country. Alongside its events programme, as part of the summer 2022 activity, Scotland's lead heritage body is also once again offering a £1 entry to its sites to members of Young Scot to encourage young people to experience Scotland's rich heritage. Stephen Duncan, HES Director of Commercial and Tourism, said, "The last 2 years have been difficult for the tourism and heritage sectors, so we're really pleased to once again be able to announce our popular events programme. We look forward to welcoming new and returning visitors to enjoy a range of fun-packed, historically based live performances and interactive experiences across participating sites, while exploring Scotland's rich heritage. Our 2022 schedule offers a wonderful way to discover Scotland's history and just some of the many stories that form its rich fabric, something particularly apt given we are currently celebrating the Year of Scotland's Stories. Ticket details. Tickets for all events can be bought in advance online at historicscotland.gov.uk, and daytime events are free for Historic Scotland members. Historic Scotland membership gives unlimited access to Scotland's rich history and unmissable events. For more information, visit www.historyawaits.scot. Stephen Duncan from HES said, "Through our events, not only can we offer a range of exciting and fascinating activities for all ages to enjoy, but we're also able to bring the stories of our past to life in new and innovative ways." To access the full programme of events for 2022, visit www.historicinvironment.scot/visit-a-place/what's-on. £80 million for victim support across Scotland. Report by Julie Curry. Victim Support Scotland has successfully bid for £18 million over a 3-year period from the Scottish Government. The funds will allow the organisation to continue to deliver its services to people across Scotland, following increased demands the charity has seen during the COVID-19 pandemic for the support in the aftermath of crime. Victim Support Scotland will also see an expansion of its service to include supporting families who have been bereaved by a murder abroad. Building on the support for families bereaved by crime service, which was established 3 years ago to provide a single point of contact for families going through the criminal justice system, this development will give emotional, practical and financial support to families impacted by such crimes as part of a new and innovative service. Victim Support Scotland's funding success is the result of a competitive process of bidding for a new pot of funds allocated from the Scottish Government. The Victim-Centred Approach Fund is open to all third sector, community interest and public organisations as part of the programme for government commitment to support victim rights. Kate Wallace, VSS Chief Executive, said, "For over 35 years, Victim Support Scotland has been providing free and confidential support to everyone in the aftermath of crime. Our work in the courts and locally across the country is providing critical support to some of Scotland's most vulnerable people at the point of need. We currently support around 50,000 people annually in this way, and the new investment will allow us to continue our services, as well as expanding the offering to meet the increased demands for support. Based on our learning from the last 3 years running the support for families bereaved by crime service, we will now be able to open this up to the Scottish families who are affected by murder abroad. We are grateful to the Scottish Government for allowing us this opportunity. I look forward to our continued partnership working with colleagues in the third and justice sectors to deliver on our plans and ambitions. And that report was by Julie Curry.
Help spread smiles. Smile Train, the international children's cleft charity, is asking readers to host a Big Smile tea party this April. Running from Monday, April the 11th to Sunday, April the 24th, the event will raise money for cleft-affected children around the world. A cleft is the most common facial difference globally, affecting around 1 in 700 babies each year. In the UK, cleft surgery is carried out within the first 12 months of a baby's life. However, children living in resource-poor communities worldwide do not have access to the treatment they so desperately need. Smile Train helps empower medical professionals with the tools they need to provide free surgeries. Ian Valence, Smile Train UK Director, said, "The Big Smile Tea Party is a great activity to enjoy over the Easter period. For a fundraising kit, visit smiletrain.org.uk/Big Smile Tea Party."
Plan for 29 homes granted. Councillors have granted planning permission for a development of 29 new homes at a site in Bishopbriggs. McTaggart and Michael Holmes applied for the permission to build their properties on land adjacent to Crofthead Cottage on Kirkintilloch Road. This was approved by Eastern Bartonshire Council's Planning Committee, subject to conditions and a legal agreement covering provision of affordable housing, open spaces and support for education facilities. This development consists of 15 4-bedroomed houses, 7 5-bedroomed houses and affordable housing in the form of 4 1-bedroom flats and 3 3-bedroom terraced houses. Councillor Gordon Loud proposed 2 additional conditions, which included an additional acoustic barrier to improve protection for properties near the site and for a footpath to be built on the east side of Kirkintilloch Road between the traffic lights and the bus stop. Provost Hughes queried whether this latter condition would reduce the width of the road. The Roads Department considered this achievable, but some in the meeting felt this could impact other planning decisions and would be addressed under Glasgow City Region deal. The vote was 8 in favour of Planning Convener Rosie O'Neill's motion to proceed with the recommendations specified by the Planning Officer, and 7 votes for Councillor Loud's amendment. MSP write off £8,000 school meal debt. Some £8,756 and 57 pence of school meal debt in Eastern Bartonshire should be written off by the council, says local Green MSP Ross Greer. A Freedom of Information request submitted by the Scottish Greens has found that children and families locally owe £8,736 and 57 pence to Eastern Bartonshire Council, with the national figure totalling over £1 million. This is despite all P1 to 5 pupils in Scotland now being entitled to a free school meal. Green MSP Ross Greer, who represents the west of Scotland and is a member of Parliament's Education Committee, said, "Children can't get a good education if they're hungry at school. I believe the Eastern Bartonshire Council rightly ensures every pupil has a meal at lunchtime, even if they don't have the money to cover it, but these figures make it clear that debts are being chased from families who simply can't pay. With the cost of living crisis putting huge pressure on family finances, this is the right time to write off all outstanding school meal debt. Pursuing the debt is causing stress and embarrassment for pupils and their families, but I know that staff are deeply uncomfortable asking pupils for money they know the family does not have. I'm proud that as a result of the cooperation agreement between the Greens and SNP, we're rolling out free school meals to all primary school children, as well as taking other measures to help families budget, such as a free bus travel for under 22s. Candidates for May Council elections by local democracy reporter Neil McGrory. The following candidates have been confirmed as standing in Eastern Bartonshire's local government elections, which take place on May the 5th. Ward 1, Milgai, 3 councillors to elect: Julie Duncan, Independent; Jim Gibbons, SNP; Alex Matheson, Conservative, Aileen Paulson, Liberal Democrat, Thomas Shepherd, Labour, Emma Shepherd, Greens. Ward 2, Bearsden North, 3 councillors to elect. Duncan Cumming, Independent, Duncan Evans, Conservative, Craig Munsey, Labour, Alan Reid, Liberal Democrat, Neil Simpson, Greens, Callum Smith, SNP. Ward 3, Bearsden South, 3 councillors to elect. Lorna Dougal, Labour, Scott Ferguson, Greens, Ian Gallagher, SNP, Duncan Malcolm, Independent, Sheila Meakin, Independent, Vaughan Moody, Liberal Democrats, Andrew Paulson, Conservative. Ward 4, Bishopbriggs North and Campsie, 4 councillors to elect. Paul Ferretti, SNP, Paul Gallagher, Scottish Family Party, Alan Harris, Alba, Billy Hendry, Conservative, Colette McDermott, Labour, Gary Hughes, Liberal Democrat, Elizabeth Rowan, Greens, Linda Williamson, SNP. Ward 5, Bishopbriggs South, 3 councillors to elect. Jesper Bach, Greens, Catherine Brown, Conservative, Eamon Gallagher, Alba, Gordon Lowe, SNP, Alan Moore, Labour, Ben Rose, Liberal Democrat. Ward 6, Lindsay and Kirkintilloch South, 3 councillors to elect. Callum McNally, Labour, Willie Patterson, Liberal Democrat, Gillian Rennick, SNP, Caroline Scringemore, Greens, Sandra Thornton, Conservative, James Watson, Freedom Alliance. Ward 7, Kirkintilloch Eastern North and Twecker, 3 councillors to elect. Stuart MacDonald, Labour, Josephine MacLeod, Conservative, Pamela Marshall, SNP, Alan McManus, Freedom Alliance, Susan Murray, Liberal Democrat. To vote in this election, eligible voters must be aged 16 or over and must be registered to vote by Monday the 18th of April 2022. For more information about voting in elections in Scotland, go to the Electoral Commission's website, electoralcommission.org.uk/voter. And that report was by Neil McGrory.
Comedy night. A local woman whose biggest fear is losing her sight is holding a fundraising comedy night in aid of Guide Dogs Scotland. Rebecca Gallagher, who has type 1 diabetes, is staging the charity event at the Lux in Kirkintilloch. Headline comedian at the event on Saturday, April the 23rd at 7:30pm will be Amanda Hursey, who supported Gary Falls at the Armadillo. Tickets cost £7 and can be purchased either at the door or by emailing guidedogs_Cumbernauld@outlook.com. Rebecca said, "I am a volunteer with Guide Dogs. I am a type 1 diabetic and my biggest fear is losing my sight due to complications. If this was to happen, the thought of having a guide dog would allow me to continue my independence. Come and have a laugh with some comedians and raise money for Guide Dogs."
Let's talk. If you have any letters, please email them to kirkyherald@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNScotland.co.uk. Let's hope new school and improved pass come our way in wake of May elections. Sir, recently I received, as did no doubt many others resident in Lenzie and Kirkintilloch South, a copy of the Lib Dems focus leaflet. 2 points were of particular interest to me. It mentioned that the feasibility study into a new Lenzie Academy was prompted by the Lib Dem Council Group. This is welcome news, with the school's replacement being long overdue. In case too much excitement, however, is generated by these exciting plans, it is important to remember that there are many aspects still to be put in place. The timing of this news is interesting, being within weeks of the May Council elections. It is also reported that the Lib Dem team has raised the concerns of local people about the state of the roads and footpaths. These concerns are well founded. In my many years of living in Lenzie, I do not think that I have ever seen the roads and footpaths in a worse state. As examples, I would cite 2 footpaths, which are in a poor state. The footpath from the south end of Galahal Avenue, Lenzie, to Fern Avenue, and the footpath from the north end of Willow Avenue, Lenzie, to Moncrief Avenue. Both of these footpaths are used by pedestrians going to and from secondary and primary schools, and the railway station. Let us hope that the school plans will come to fruition, and that the day will dawn eventually when the first turf is cut for the new academy, and before that, the urgent and necessary repairs to our roads and footpaths will have taken place. Yours, etc., Ian W. Thompson, Kirkintilloch Road, Lenzie. Enduring peace down to the Union. Sir, the horrible conflict between Russia and Ukraine shows how fortunate we are in Britain that there hasn't been a war between Scotland and England since the 1650s, and there hasn't been a pitched battle on our island since Culloden in 1746. Without the Union of Parliaments and the formation of the UK in 1707, such enduring peace would never have happened. All too often we take this extremely vital benefit of being British for granted. Yours, etc., Otto Inglis. Address supplied. Go protest in China, India and Russia. Sir, Extinction Rebellion, Insulate Britain, Tire Extinguishers and Just Stop Oil are determined to drive the UK back to the Dark Ages. The leaders are Marxists and anarchists, leading the gullible. The UK is responsible for only 1.13% of global emissions, so why are these demonstrators reluctant to demonstrate in China, India and the oil-rich countries where over 60% of the world's greenhouse gases are created? Why not demonstrate in Russia, where the war with Ukraine has created greenhouse gases, and rebuilding will create even more? These UK climate demonstrators are cowards, and those who block roads and cause damage and disruption should be jailed for 2 years. Yours, etc., Clark Cross, by email. More trash in favour of the Union? Sir, more garbage is again being peddled by British nationalists who never lose an opportunity to do down Scotland and its people. If this union is so great and beneficial to Scotland, as they claim it to be, then they should explain why, after over 300 years of being governed from Westminster, they claim that our country, with all its resources, is such an economic basket case, and our communities suffer from such levels of poverty and deprivation. Meanwhile, the PM's official spokesman states Boris Johnson has no regrets in comparing the Ukraine's fight for survival, in which Ukrainians are dying in their struggle against Putin's Russian invasion of their country, with Brexit, which he claims he wasn't racist or about hating foreigners, forgetting to mention Farage's anti-migrant poster, Breaking Point. At Westminster, the new immigration legislation has been backed by 5 out of the 6 Tory MPs we have here in Scotland. This legislation could result in Ukrainians who are fleeing for their lives being jailed when they arrive in the UK. Yours, etc., Peter McCulloch. Address supplied.
A 10-year strategy for National Trust, an article by Julie Curry. You can email Julie at jcurrie@jpimedia.co.uk. The National Trust for Scotland has announced a 10-year strategy which outlines its plans to invest £100 million in the places in its care. Nature, Beauty and Heritage for Everyone refocuses the Trust's vision of caring for, sharing and speaking up for Scotland's heritage. Philip Long, NTS Chief Executive, said, "We've begun an exciting new chapter, building on the experience, knowledge and skills we've gathered over the last 90 years, throughout which our charity has received phenomenal support from its members and many others. Everyone can benefit from Scotland's heritage and from the work of the Trust, and the years ahead we want to involve as many people as possible in this. Our new strategy is a response to all that our charity has achieved over its long history and to the current health, economic and environmental challenges. We've set out a framework that charts our ambitions for the Trust's 10th decade, describing our intended achievement from becoming carbon negative by 2031 through to championing Scotland's heritage for everyone, restoring and protecting habitats, historic buildings and landscapes, and uncovering and sharing more of our nation's stories. We're also recruiting colleagues to bring even more experience to our dedicated and passionate team throughout the country to allow us to realise these ambitions. Economically, the direct and indirect impacts of the National Trust for Scotland in 2019-20 are estimated at 7,430 jobs, which can also be expressed as £148 million gross value added. And these figures are set to grow further, as the charity is currently recruiting around 300 seasonal and permanent roles to deliver its new 10-year vision. The strategy also outlines the Trust's commitment to grow its diverse membership base to over 500,000 people across Scotland in the next 10 years. And at the heart of the strategy is a £100 million programme of projects and investment in the next decade, with a spend of £38 million planned for 2021 to 2024. To find out more, visit www.nts.org.uk/OUR-strategy. STRATEGY. That, as we said, was an article by Julie Curry. Register of Landowners in Scotland. Communities and individuals will now be able to access a register of information to find out who has a controlling interest in Scotland's land. Launched on April 1st, the Register of Persons Holding a Controlled Interest in Land, the RCI, provides key information about those who ultimately make decisions about the management of or use of land, even if they are not registered as the owner, including overseas entities and trusts. The register, established and maintained by the Keeper of the Registers of Scotland, will make it easier for individuals and communities to engage with those who make decisions about land issues that affect them. Forming part of the Scottish Government's wider land reform agenda, the RCI is intended to ensure there can no longer be categories of landowner or tenants with a registered or recorded long lease of more than 20 years, where intentionally or otherwise control of decision-making is obscured. The regulations place a responsibility on owners and tenants to supply information to RCI of their controlling interest from April 1st. Entry onto the register is free, with 1 year's grace period when offence provisions for non-compliance come into force. Jennifer Henderson, Keeper of the Registers of Scotland, said, "The register will become a valuable source of information and bring greater transparency of who makes decisions about the country's land and property." Environment and Land Reform Minister Mary McCallan added, "The launch of this new register marks a significant milestone towards making land ownership in Scotland more transparent." Fund helps pay for out-of-school care. HM Revenue and Customs, the HMRC, is reminding working parents in Scotland not to miss out on the opportunity to get up to £2,000 a year to pay for regulated childcare, including holiday clubs and other out-of-school activities. Tax-free childcare provides thousands of eligible working families with up to £500 every 3 months, or £1,000 if their child is disabled, towards the cost of holiday clubs, before and after school clubs, childminders and nurseries, and other approved childcare schemes. For every £8 deposited into a tax-free childcare online account, families will receive an additional £2 in government top-up, and it is available for children aged up to 11 or 17 if the child has a disability. More than 19,800 working families used the scheme in December 2021 in Scotland. Overall, HMRC paid out more than £34 million in top-up payments, which was shared between nearly 328,000 families across the UK. With recent research estimating that around 1.3 million families could be taking up this government support, parents and carers can check their eligibility and register via gov.uk, that's gov.uk. This scheme can help working families, including the self-employed, and is one of many ways the government is supporting households to reduce their costs. Helen Whately, HM Treasury's Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury, said there are lots of brilliant holiday clubs and childcare providers to help working parents during the Easter holidays. Tax-free childcare is a great offer that can help cut childcare bills. I urge families to take advantage of this support and put extra pounds in their pocket. Sign up now. £2 million boost to get us biking. An article by Julie Curry. More than £2 million has been allocated to make it easier and more accessible for Scots to get on their bikes. The funding from the Scottish Government's active travel budget has been awarded to 194 organisations and has the potential to benefit more than 221,000 people and over 5,000 households. Delivered through Cycling Scotland's Behaviour Change Programme, the funds will be used to install cycle parking, changing facilities, maintenance equipment, bikes and training. Over £1 million has already been allocated to install cycle parking and storage, making it easier for people to safely secure bikes at workplaces, homes, colleges and within the community. An additional £227,000 has been awarded to 34 schools as part of the Free Access to Secondary Schools pilot, which will provide bikes, helmets, locks and maintenance equipment to pupils across Scotland. Kath Brough, Head of Behaviour Change at Cycling Scotland, said, "By providing facilities that make it easier to cycle, we are providing the opportunity to over 221,000 people to make healthy and sustainable transport choices. As we emerge from the pandemic, choosing to travel by bike has a huge role to play in supporting our local economies, relieving pressure on vital networks, supporting our mental well-being, and facilitating new ways of hybrid working. Interventions as simple as locks and a bike pump, right up to large-scale storage facilities or a fleet of bikes, all make it easier and more accessible for people to travel in an environmentally friendly and affordable way." Minister for Active Travel, Patrick Harvey, said the government was delighted to be able to support 194 organisations across Scotland. He added funding safer cycleways, junctions and links is vital, and we're doing so at record levels. But so too is having the basics like the ability to park your bike at your destination, to get changed if required, or having the equipment nearby to make a basic repair. The next round of funding opened on March 28th. To register your interest, fill out an application at https://www.tfaforms.com/4816763. Charity partner for ScotMid Co-op. Charities across Scotland are being invited by ScotMid Cooperative to become its new charity partner for 22-23. The retailer is looking for an organisation that shares its values and passion for supporting local communities. With a presence in Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England, the partnership must be able to span a wide geography. Over the last 20 years, ScotMid has raised millions of pounds for its charity partners, including the SSPCA, Samaritans, Childline, Alzheimer's Scotland and Chaz. John Brodie, ScotMid Chief Executive, said partners benefit from both an exceptional level of fundraising and support from our colleagues and communities. We're excited to hear about projects that can benefit. Applications are open until 5 p.m. on Friday, May 6th. At https://scotmid.coop/community-and-charity/the-year-applications.
District News, Churches section, Kirkintilloch, Home Church Scotland, Lammermuir Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 2AB, O Lord, you have always been our home. Before you created the hills or brought the world into being, you were eternally God and will be God forever. Psalm 90, verse 1-2. Home Church welcomes you to any of our Sunday services and midweek activities as follows: 9:30am, communion; 10am, prayer time; 10:30am, fellowship, tea and coffee available; 11am, worship service in children's church followed by tea and coffee. The main service at 11am is online and in person. One church, Home Church, 4 locations, soon to be 5. Kirkintilloch, North Coast, Northern Ireland, Stornoway and online. A church for all ages. A new location, Renfield Street, Stephen's Church premises in Bass Street, is opening up in Glasgow on Sundays at 7pm. Wednesday, 6:30pm, home group for families. 7:30pm, prayer and home groups. 7:30pm, online home group. See Facebook and Instagram for up-to-date information. Kirkintilloch Church of God. The Sunday evening Good News service at Regent Hall, Regent Street, remains cancelled for now. We are, however, continuing our Zoom services each Sunday at 6:30pm. The speaker this Sunday will be Rodney Johnson. A warm invitation to everyone who is able to join us on Zoom. Access details for the stream can be obtained by emailing hello@regenthall.org. Come to Coffee Corner at Regent Hall on Wednesday from noon to 2pm for home baking and coffee. COVID-safe measures are in place. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. Jesus said, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." John 10 verse 10. St David's Memorial Park Church. At St David's Memorial Park Church, our morning service on April the 10th, marking Palm Sunday, will be at our usual time of 10:30am and will be led by our Church of Scotland reader, John Nicholson. During our morning worship, school-aged children will have the opportunity to go through to our halls for their own time of fun and learning with JAM. All are welcome to attend our services. We would ask that you continue to wear a face mask during this service unless exempt from doing so. We look forward to welcoming you to the church. During Holy Week, there are several services that will take place in various churches across Kirkintilloch. On Tuesday, April the 12th, there is an evening service at St David's Memorial Park Church from 7:30pm to 8:30pm, and again on Friday, April the 15th, a further service at the same time of 7:30pm. All are welcome to attend and share at this time of worship. The Walk of Witness will also take place on Friday, April the 15th at 11am in the local town. Our Easter service will be celebrated on Sunday, April the 17th at our usual time of 10:30am. All are welcome to attend these services. Our Tuesday lunchtime services have now resumed and take place each Tuesday from noon till 12:30pm. The next service will be April the 19th. All are welcome to attend. Lenzie Old Parish Church. Palm Sunday, April the 10th. Morning service is at 11am, conducted by Reverends Graham and Sheila Blount. This service will be available online and on the phone line later in the afternoon. Please take a lateral flow test before attending the service. Ukraine Appeal. On Sunday, there will be a collection for Ukraine. This will be sent to Christian Aid, which is part of the DEC, Disasters Emergency Committee. Come and Sing, our dementia-friendly singing group, will be meeting in the hall on Tuesday, April the 12th at 1:15pm. New and old members very welcome. The Thursday Club meets on April the 7th in the new hall from 2pm to 4pm for tea, coffee, games and chat. Colston Will Park Church. This Sunday, You are welcome to our morning service at 11 a.m, led by Reverend Leslie Grieve. Tea and coffee served in the hall after the service. The Colston Art Club continues this Monday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. A welcome to all who are interested in art and good company. The food bank continues its good work and remains open every Monday and Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. The Lent Bible study continues this Wednesday, starting at 7:30 p.m. in the church hall. All church organisations and groups are continually working hard to return to normal activities as soon as possible. Catch our church services on Facebook at Colston Wellpark Parish Church, and if you require further information on any church activity, etc., contact Leslie Grieve on 07813 255 052. Lindsay Union Parish Church. Sunday worship will be led by Reverend Dan Carmichael at 11 a.m. in the church. Young people are also welcome to the Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service is available on YouTube via our website. Tea and coffee may be served in the hall after the Sunday service. Sunday chat is at 12:30 p.m. on Zoom. The Meeting Place Coffee Shop is open on Wednesdays 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. in the new hall. Meet your friends and enjoy a chat over a cup of tea or coffee. Everyone, from the very young to the young at heart, is welcome to join us, where we'll have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. The coffee pot is open on Fridays at 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. in the new hall for teas, coffee and chat. Saturday, April the 16th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Exploring Easter, drama, hot cross buns and Easter trail. Suitable for all ages. Come and go whenever you like. At all events, face coverings are required unless exempt, and test and protect details collected in line with guidance. Joint Holy Week services in Lindsay. Thursday, April the 14th, 7:30 p.m. St Cyprian's, Monday, Thursday. Communion service Friday, April the 15th, 10 a.m. Gather at Lindsay Old Parish Church for the Walk of Witness from Lindsay to Kirkintilloch. Friday, April the 15th, 7:30 p.m. Lindsay Old Good Friday service. Kenmure Parish Church. We are once again looking forward to the return of Reverend Maurice Dutch to lead us in our Palm Sunday service at 11 a.m. The service will be live streamed on YouTube and can be found by searching for Kenmure Bishopbriggs. Details of all our groups that are now running may be found on the website kenmure-church.co.uk. To find us on Facebook, just search for Kenmure Parish Church. If you would like to join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, then email us at kenmurechurch@icloud.com. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector the Reverend Paul Watson, 0141 230 4080. The church is now open for socially distanced services, face mask essential, this Thursday at 11 a.m. and on Sunday, Palm Sunday, at 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea and coffee and fellowship afterwards, while regulations permit. The meditation labyrinth is still available in the car park for a mindful walk round. There are also virtual services and groups. For up-to-date further information, refer to our social media. Facebook, St James the Less, Bishopbriggs. Website, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Milton of Campsie Church. We are back in the building. No need to book, but we still show love for one another by wearing masks. Jigsaw, EPIC and Crossover will meet as usual. Next Sunday is Palm Sunday. We will celebrate Jesus entering into Jerusalem while folks shouted Hosanna and laid their coats and jackets on the road. Send us a pic of yourself holding or wearing a jacket or coat. Noon Zoom coffee and chat is now at 12:30 p.m. Contact Julie for the link. Remember the phone number for a dial-in service which enables you to hear Sunday's service. Just dial 01360 545 345. That's 01360 545 345. The Baby, Toddler and Toddler Group, Hobbies Club and Badminton Club all meet on Monday. Time to pray is at 7:15pm to 7:55pm on Wednesday. The Messenger magazine is about to be delivered through every letterbox in the village. Holy Week services will be held in the church on Monday, April 11th, Tuesday, April 12th, Thursday, April 15th at 7pm. On Wednesday, April the 11th, we shall attend the service at Campsie Parish Church at 7pm. District News General. National Museum of Flight. The National Museum of Flight in East Lothian has commenced a 7-day opening for a new season that features a number of special events exploring the East Fortune attractions history as a wartime RAF base. Supported by players of the People's Postcode Lottery, Make Do and Mend runs from Tuesday, April the 19th to Friday, April the 22nd, and offers a glimpse of the 1940s creativity and sustainability by showing how RAF surplus items were repurposed and transformed into items such as gardening clothes, sheepskin teddy bears, or even silk underwear. The 4-day programme includes the chance to try French knitting and, on Thursday, April the 21st, to learn how to print on fabric using colour made from botanicals such as leaves and berries. Also supported by players of People's Postcode Lottery, Dig for Victory on Sunday, May the 8th, will show visitors how people grew and cooked their own food during the Second World War. Activities will include site tours to discover what life was like for those living and serving at RAF East Fortune. Visitors can also find out how fruit and vegetables were grown on the airfield and learn about rationing through cooking demonstrations by food historian Nicola Fletcher. On Saturday, May the 28th and Sunday, May 29th, the 40th anniversary of the Falklands War will be marked, with talks by a curator and some RAF veterans involved in the conflict. Photographs taken by a Falkland Islander and a display examining the role of the parachute regiment will also be in show. The museum's popular Awesome Bricks Lego event returns on Saturday 18th and Sunday 19th June and features the chance to see some amazing Lego constructions and try a speed build challenge. Tickets for this event will go on sale in mid-April. The National Museum of Flight is located on the UK's best preserved Second World War airfield and includes 2 historic wartime aircraft hangars which are packed with exciting displays telling the stories of military and civil aviation over the past century. The museum is home to Scotland's only Concorde aircraft, and visitors can see an example of the iconic Spitfire that played such an important role in the Second World War. The attraction houses the family-friendly Fantastic Flight Gallery, with its interactive exhibits where visitors can explore the science of aviation and discover how aeroplanes fly. They are also able to learn about East Fortune's wartime heritage in the museum's Fortunes of War exhibition. Stephen McLean, General Manager at the National Museum of Flight, said, "The National Museum of Flight's atmospheric East Fortune home is the UK's best preferred Second World War airfield, and our forthcoming events programme will help visitors to step back in time and imagine the lives of those who lived here during the war. Elsewhere in site, they will be able to explore our wonderful collections and learn about our rich aviation history and the people and aircraft involved in it. We are proud to be one of Europe's major aviation museums and look forward to welcoming visitors as we resume 7-day opening for the new season. The National Museum of Flight is open 7 days a week from April the 1st to October the 30th from 10am until 5pm. General admission, adult 16 plus, £12.50, concession £10.50, child 5 to 15 £7.50, under 5 free. Family ticket £33, 2 adults and 2 children. National Museum Scotland members free. Tickets can be booked online at nms.ac.uk/flight. Broadband update. The Auditor General for Scotland has published an online update on the progress of the Scottish Government's R100 Reaching 100% Superfast Broadband programme. Stephen Boyle, Auditor General for Scotland, said, "The pandemic has shown that a fast and reliable broadband connection is an absolute utility, but there is still work to do to connect or upgrade around 100,000 homes and businesses as part of the Scottish Government's plans." Read the report at www.audit-scotland.gov.uk/update-on-the-Scottish-R100-programme. Mary's Meals reaches out. Mary's Meals has announced that it is now feeding 2,279,941 children every school day, with funds raised in 2021 helping the charity to expand its work in countries including Haiti, Madagascar and Yemen. The charity serves nutritious school meals in 20 of the world's poorest countries, many of which are impacted by conflict and natural disasters. The promise of a nutritious meal attracts hungry children into the classroom, where, instead of working or looking for food, they can gain an education and hope for the future. Despite this good news, Mary's Meal is pointing to a difficult year ahead. For more information on the work of Mary's Meals, please visit marysmeals.org.uk. Holyrood Voice. Cut subsidies of Russian mega-rich. Ross Greer, MSP. Our response to Putin's disgraceful invasion of Ukraine has shone a light on the UK's weak policies when it comes to Russian companies and oligarchs. A number of these super-rich Kremlin associates have wormed themselves into positions of influence in Britain's economy and politics. The most high-profile case is the billionaire owner of Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich. This only ended when the UK government provided evidence that he was still closely connected to Putin last month. There are examples in Scotland too. A 3,000-acre estate in Perthshire is owned by another billionaire, Vladimir Lysin. He has been in the US Treasury's Putin list since 2018. Despite his wealth, the estate receives £692,896 in public money via agricultural subsidy payments. I asked the First Minister about the case of Mr Lysin. She agreed to take an immediate review of Scotland's agricultural payment system and other relevant schemes. This would ensure that no Russian oligarch or Kremlin associate receives a penny of public money here. Standing with the people of Ukraine must mean putting maximum pressure on Putin's cronies, wherever they operate. Until now, there's never been any legal obligation for a transparent register of who controls land in Scotland. That register will open on April the 1st, but there's no penalty for non-compliance until 2023. This means that the names of the people who could control land, but don't own it directly, will still be hidden from the public. This is typically done by purchasing the land via a front company, usually based in a tax haven. It is common knowledge that Russian oligarchs are amongst those who use this tactic when buying huge areas of land in Scotland. The governments do have powers to investigate the wealth of these suspected ties to the Kremlin or corruption in Russia. Unexplained wealth orders can be placed on anyone doing business in the UK, forcing them to account for where their money comes from. We must make use of these powers wherever we can. It is vital that Scotland plays our part in the sanctions effort aimed at the Kremlin and Putin's wider circle of associates. This effort is having an impact on the Russian elite and their war. Governments everywhere must continue to tighten the screws. And that Holyrood Voice piece was by Ross Greer, MSP.
Planning notices. East and Bartonshire Council public notices. Civic Government (Scotland Act 1982) application for renewal of second-hand vehicle dealer licence. The undernoted has applied for the renewal of a second-hand vehicle dealer licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant: GDS Motors Scotland Limited, Unit 1, Milton Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 1SY. Day-to-day manager: Daniel Scullion, 54 Fossil Grove, Kirkintilloch, G66 3SP. Premises: JDS Motors, Unit 1, Milton Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 1SY. Hours of business: Monday to Sunday, 9 AM till 5 PM. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3 brackets 1 of Schedule 1 of the Act should be logged with the undernoted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Deputy Chief Executive, Education, People and Business, East Bartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Briggs hosts Shinty Feast. Bishopbriggs provided the backdrop for a special event designed to promote both the sport of shinty and the Gaelic language. More than 80 youngsters across Glasgow and Edinburgh visited the town to compete for Gaelic Primary Shinty Sixes silverware. Hosted by Eomain Colmcille, with support from Board na Gaelig, the occasion was part of the first ever Gaelic Language Week. Taking part were primary school pupils from Burn, Scoil, Tab na Paris, Scoin Gahad League Galashu, Scotland Gaelic School, Burnsgoyle Galhielg Galeen Dale, Glendale Gaelic Primary School, and Meadowburn Primary School, all of them in Gaelic medium education. They aim to replicate the skills and talents of sides like all-conquering Glasgow Mid-Argyll, Glasgow's only senior shinty side, or reigning Camancht Cup champions Kinlochshiel. Scoil Galid Hielg Galashu were crowned champions on the day following a thrilling afternoon of action from all sides of the show. Gaelig Glendale Gaelic Primary School also took home a trophy for being the best Gaelic speaking on the day. The first ever official Gaelic Language Week, Sechdain na Gaelig, was part of over 100 events taking place across the world, including the UK, Germany, Australia, Canada and the US, all of which sought to deliver a flavour of breadth of Gaelic activity across the globe. Shona McClellan, Chief Executive at Board na Gaelig, said, quote, "We are delighted to have supported this superb event in Bishopbriggs. The enthusiasm on display from all players suggested we have a few budding shinty stars on the horizon, as well as the next generation of Gaelic speakers." Board na Gaelig, the board, is an executive non-department public body established under the Gaelic Language Scotland Act of 2005. It is the principal agency in Scotland responsible for promoting Gaelic development and providing advice to the country's government ministers on Gaelic matters including education. Its vision is that Gaelic is seen and heard on a daily basis across Scotland, such that it's widely recognised as an integral part of Scottish life and as a national culture and economic asset. I'd like to apologise for my pronunciation of all of the Gaelic in that article. Field good factor at Meadow. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy hit back after a frustrating loss last week to score 5 goals in the win in North Ayrshire. The Rabs defeated Irving Meadow 5-3 in the West of Scotland Football League's Premier Division to soothe their relegation fears, with around half a dozen clubs set for the drop this season. Kirkintilloch are in 14th place in the 20-team league with 37 points from 28 games. They have numerous games in hand on the teams around them and are a point ahead of Largs Thistle, level with Kilbirnie Ladeside, although with a better goal difference, and just 3 points behind Rutherglen Glencairn. Manager Stuart Maxwell last week lamented the fact decisions and general luck seemed to be going against Rob Roy, after a 3-2 loss to Kilwinning, but fortune seemed a little kinder to them this week, with 2 penalty awards and a red card for Meadows' Jared Willett. Irvine came back to level the scores 3 times after Kirkintilloch had gone ahead, but the local lads were praised on social media for their performance. The Rabs led 3-2 at half-time, and Irving Meadows squared it at 3-3 in the second half before the visitors pulled clear and Willett was sent off following a second yellow card. Dean Cairns hit a 25-yard strike for the Rabs, while Ben Daly scored both spot kicks and Robbie Young, who scored last week against Kilwinning, was on the mark again with 2 goals. This Saturday the Rabs face Beath Juniors at Guy Meadow with a 2 p.m. kickoff. More activity could be in the pipeline to support the Rabs' hopes of returning to Kirkintilloch following a rally in the town last month. The club are seeking a return to their hometown at the proposed new Kirkintilloch Sports Complex. Maxwell, who warned the club could fold if that move fails, launched a petition that has attracted over 2,000 signatures online and, quote, raised the profile of the club's plight, end quote. He added, quote, we want to be a community club where people are coming on board. We need to get back playing in Kirkintilloch for the club to kick off, end quote. Some fans may be arranging events before the club's April 16th Scottish Junior Cup semi-final, while Maxwell also hopes for a face-to-face meeting with local councillors. James on course to hook second spot. Fisherman James Woodrow hooked second place in a field of over 160 of the best course anglers in Britain and the Channel Islands and declared, quote, that's my best ever result. The former Bishopbriggs High School pupil was also in the Scotland A team that finished third in the Sensas Challenge, rated one of the best events in Europe under rules laid down by the International Sport Fishing Confederation (CIPS). Star-studded Drennan Barnsley B won with 22 points, with Drennan Barnsley A in second spot on 25, and Scotland A on 29 points in the event. Designed for teams to experience the nearest event to the World Championship. It attracted 39 teams to the Gloucestershire Canal, with Scotland B 20th overall. Organisers confirmed it was one of the tightest results the competition had ever seen, with 3 anglers, England international James Dent, James Woodrow and Tommy Naughton, on maximum points. But Dent, from Barnsley, took the individual title on overall weight. Car mechanic Woodrow, a regular at Magiscroft Fishery in Condorant, said Scotland were against, quote, world-class anglers, and his weight of 36 pounds of fish fell just short of winning. It comprised 7 bream, all round 4 pounds on the first day, and around 40 smaller fish, mostly roach, perch and skimmers on day 2. Bloodworm was the bait that did the business for Woodrow, who said he had practiced using it in the Silvers League in Magiscroft, only 5 minutes from his home over the winter. Dent said the 35-year-old nicked it with a slightly better weight, adding, quote, a silver medal here is my biggest achievement in fishing, and there was a 5-time world champion in the field, and a number of experienced internationalists. Quote, this is a big event, the biggest CIPS event in Britain, and this is a great achievement for Scotland. It helps put us on the international map in course angling, and everybody, all 10 of the anglers who travelled, contributed to this. We practiced and shared information, and it was hard. The weather was warm, and it was tough going on the canal, but we gave ourselves a chance. Undoubtedly, this is one of the best performances by the Scottish team in a long time, and we hope to build on this. Glens rack up massive victories. Allen Glens celebrated huge home wins on Saturday for their first and second rugby 15s, scoring a total of 185 points between them. The Bishopbriggs squad, who scored 60 points last week against Annan, demolished Strathendrick 86-5 at Bear Yards, giving up their 100% record in West Region League Division 1 and laying down a firm marker for this Saturday's visit by Stewartry. Simultaneously, Allen Glens 2s fell 1 point short of the ton as they destroyed Greenock Wanderers reserves 99-7. Lenzie made it 2 wins on the bounce in Division 1 as they beat Annan 26-10 at Viewfield, following the previous week's 31-7 win at Strathendrick. Lenzie are away this Saturday at Garrick. Vale. Premier League status is out of our hands. Rosvale accepted that their Premier League survival is now out of their hands after losing 3-2 on Saturday at Blantyre, Victoria. The Bishopbriggs-led side had no league match now for 2 weeks and find themselves in 17th position with 34 points from 32 games and surrounded by rivals with matches in hand. Vale ruled, quote, 3 points lost, end quote, after going 2 up in the second half at the KG Stadium, but not killing the game off. The home side went a goal up after a quarter of an hour, but Robbie Torrance equalised for Vale on 36 minutes. Del McNabb gave them the lead, but Blantyre levelled with a 75th minute penalty, then stole the winner 4 minutes later. In Conference C, a header by Jordan Scott in the 6th minute of added time after a ball forwarded from the halfway line by David Aubrey rescued a point for Petershill in a 1-1 draw in Lancashire against hosts Wishaw. Just a couple of minutes earlier, still in stoppage time, Scott had missed a penalty which, it had been hoped, would throw the Peasies a lifeline, but the keeper saved it with his legs. Wishaw had gone ahead with a penalty of their own after 48 minutes, and the result brought to an end Petershill's club record run of 17 straight league wins. However, it set up an appetising encounter this Saturday, with Glasgow Perthshire, whom the Peasies have beaten by 2 clear goals to win the league and clinch promotion to the new-look Premier Division. At Kennock Park, Glasgow, Perthshire were looking for a victory against Vale of Clyde to boost their playoff hopes, but the visitors won 3-1, with Shire's goal coming in the second half from Babu Kar Musa.
Thank you for listening to this week's Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, brought to you by Q and Review Print Speaking to the Blind. If you've any feedback, you're welcome to call us on 0141 772 3976. If you enjoyed this recording, feel free to subscribe to our channel.